Hello, everybody. Thank you for joining. I know we're still kind of connecting to audio. Good to see you. Some friendly faces in there. We'll get started here in about, I don't know, 60 seconds. Apologies on the little bit of a delay. Had to get my mic reset, but I think we're good now. If you do have a question, feel free to put it in the chat or the QA, or if you pre-submitted a question in any capacity, feel free to let me know that you pre-submitted it, and I will make sure I find it and address your question first. So, if you have anything you want to talk about, feel free to give me some guidance. If not, we can just learn some stuff together. But like I said, if you did pre-submit a question in some capacity, feel free to let me know. Just because we have it in a couple different places, and I want to make sure I can answer your questions in the order in which they came in. So, um, yeah, we'll get started here in about, I don't know, 30, 40 seconds. So, give a break on the audio there. All right, so we have some more people just joining. We'll give the last little spiel here. If you do have any pre-submitted questions, or you have any questions that you want me to talk about, any topics, something you're working on in your organization, something you're trying to figure out, my name is Robert. I'm going to add my name to my list here. We also have Jared in the room, who's very smart. We got Jasmine from documentation. We got a whole team on this side of the line to help get you the answers you might need. So, again, if you have a question or you pre-submitted and you don't want to retype it, just let me know you pre-submitted, and I will find it in that list, and we can work our way from there. But we'll kind of just get started here in about 20 seconds. And if no one has any questions, I'll just show you some of the stuff that I've been learning about lately in hopes that you can learn while you're potentially lunching. All right. I'm just going to start talking. And again, feel free to cut me off at any point in time. If you have a question, any of that kind of stuff, you pre-submitted a question, anything like that, just let me know. We can kind of talk about it together. I'm going to kind of close these other tabs. Cool. So on here, we got our YouTube channel. We've been working diligently to put videos up. We have a whole bunch of new stuff, that has dropped over the last 7 days or so. Um, so let's look at what some of that new stuff is, right? Run flows for lists. Really powerful step. Does lots of cool stuff. Jeremy went through and made a full detailed walkthrough of all that information. So that's a great one. Database views, another great one done by Jared. And I might show that off here in a second too, because it's really awesome, really powerful. And it's really something I wasn't super familiar with, but after seeing it, I'm like, wow, this is one of the coolest features in reporting. Or maybe that's not, I think that video is not live yet, is it, Jared? Actually, reporting views.
No, that's not
Yeah.
live yet. That's
Well,
database views, a different thing.
yeah, true, true. There we go. Got confused for a moment. But reporting views is coming out, and I might give you a little sneak peek on my end. Database views is
Yeah.
also really powerful and really useful. Talking about how you can kind of interact with the database that Decisions lives on top of. So again, just more information for you. Um, 9.2 just came out. There's some new really great features. And then there's some changes, especially if you are a Postgres user. Some stuff you might want to know before updating to 9.2. I'm not going to inundate you with all that. But like I said, we've been kind of updating these as we go. We have posting all the lunch and learns. So if you need any information from there, we've got these. We've got little summaries at the bottom. So if you don't want to watch the whole video, look at this. We talk about what we're doing. So um, there's that. When it comes to the bottom link, Decision Solutions Marketplace, which is probably something I'm going to show you here in a second, it is a great place for you to get started. The name of the game is reducing friction to deployment. So we have these featured accelerators, we call them. But these are basically projects that you can import into your decisions instance, and you can get them in decisions as well. You don't necessarily have to get them from here. But say you wanted to run something like, let's just say, Playbook Activity Manager. You could click on this, get a little bit more information, and it's a reusable set of tasks and activity, and the pre-error handling module is a prerequisite to this. However, I found out when installing this the other day that if you don't have the error handling module installed, it'll install it for you. So kind of cuts down some of that prerequisites as well. Just it will notify you saying, hey, you need the error handling module, and it will populate that stuff for you. The last thing of my just general housekeeping, decisions.com. We've got lots of events coming up. Our first ever online submersive event. We have in real life submersive events all the time, super regularly, usually about once a month. And here you can see we actually have one a month basically for the next 3 months. Free training. So you just got to get yourself here and find a place to stay. But once you get here, the training itself is free, or wherever you're going. If you happen to be like, I think we just did our Singapore, or maybe it just started, but we had, oh no, it's right here, October 8th and 10th. So if you're in Singapore, I'm not going to be there, but somebody will be there. I think that's with one of our partners, but I'm sure you'll have lots and lots of great information there for you. So there's that. And then again, our virtual submerse. So it's a 3 day. If you kind of just wanted to accelerate your process and you wanted to learn outside of this lunch window, a great option for you. 3 day boot camp. So um, Monday, October 14th through October 16th, and it's going to be kind of an equivalent to our product training here in decisions. So you'll get a grassroots understanding of the product as well as kind of building out a project or two so that you understand how it works. So if you're new to decisions and you say, hey, I just want to dedicate a couple hard-earned days to it, great option for you. Amazing option. And look at this background. Wow. We got something in Vegas and a webinar. We've been doing a lot of webinars lately. So here's another one, SAP Process Gaps, Code-Free Design Deployment with Configurable Management. That sounds awesome to me. So with one of our partners or customers, we have external people and we have internal people as well. So again, hopefully something of here is resource for you. All right. So let's start by talking about kind of where I'm going to kind of just start talking. So again, if you have a question or you want to learn about something specifically, please let me know. But let's kind of just pick up on this decision solutions marketplace because that's kind of the world I've been living in these last couple of days. Notice how we have a QR code here. It took us to that website we just looked at. But if you're in decisions, let's say you're in version 9, hypothetically, let me get full screen here, turn off my global debugger. I've been working. I shouldn't have left that running, but that's life. All right, let me close out of this. Global debugger off. Back to full screen. Cool. I'm on my like project hub area. All these projects I got. On the top right, you got the App Store. And in here, you have most of those accelerators. So again, they're kind of built into decisions. You can kind of pull them from there. You can click on them to install them. I have already installed one, which is what we're going to talk about here for a moment. We're going to talk about, oh, look, I've already installed two. Error handling, Playbook Activity Manager. Um, really great and useful tools if you just want to implement decisions with really low friction and you have repeatable tasks or repeatable actions in which you're assigning tasks. The Playbook Activity Manager is going to be great for that. So the way that they describe it is the purpose of a Playbook Activity Manager is to seamlessly create assignments for a reasonable set of tasks, activities. The error handling module must be a prerequisite for this. So again, if you install it, it'll install that error handling module for you. So when you do that, it'll show up as a new project over here in this area. So if I scroll down, I go, oh, there it is. Projects Playbook Activity Manager, right? So again, seamlessly create assignments, tasks, and activities. My internet's running slow. This Zoom screen share here. Might see if I can just refresh that. There we go. Love it. So in here, I'm gonna kind of just run through what this thing does. And again, feel free to stop me if you want something specific. Just kind of going off what I've been working with lately. It kind of works off these dashboards. So you have Playbook Activity Manager as a dashboard, and you have, let's find another one here. I do not know where I put things because I was just messing with this. Where did I put my stuff here? Should be an additional dashboard here somewhere. This is what I want right here. I wonder if it got moved. Oh, there it is. I don't know why I didn't load up earlier. Anyways, great. So with this playbook manager, it's really great. I'm going to delete some of this stuff. So you're going to start with teams. A team is going to be kind of like an organizational divider. So like I would recommend like if you have an IT team or you have a support team or you have a, whatever team it is, you would make a playbook for that team. So that playbook is going to store a series of tasks that are relatively linear, and you can assign those and create new ones whenever something new comes in. So as a practical example, we'll go with, let's say you owned a car dealership and you wanted to create a quick automated process with assignments for people to take test drives of cars. So someone comes in and they say, "Hey, I want to test drive the new uh, Corvette," or something like that. You can make a process in decisions relatively quickly with the Create Playbook team, and we'll kind of start there. We'll say we're going to call this team the automotive team, and we're going to say the owner's email address is mine. And this will send you notifications when tasks get complete. Perfect. So now that I have this automotive playbook, right? Playbook team, but I have no playbooks in there, right? In here, there's no playbooks. There's nothing to do, no live playbooks, none of that. But if I right click on this, I can add a playbook to a team. So the playbook is going to be like the linear sequential order of tasks and assignments that get completed. So if I created this, I'm going to call this, let's say, what do we call this? Test drive uh, test drive process. Sure. Why not? And this is basically what this ends up doing is I would like to know how to tool to fix file. Thank you for the question very much. Well, so we'll kind of divert here for a moment just because we got some live questions. I want to answer them in the way they came in. I would like to know about the tool fix file line breaks. Okay, no problem at all. Let's take a look. I love that. Thank you so much for the question. So let's take a look here. The first place I'm not familiar with the tool, but just to walk you through my process. First place I'm going to look documentation. We have a documentation site at documentation.decisions.com, and let's see what they have to say about it. And if not, we can kind of look at another place, and if not, we can do some exploration. So let's go to step index. I'm going to kind of perform a control F here, fix file line break. There we go. Love it. So the fixed file line break step is going to remove line break characters within a file. This step will convert these characters into actual line breaks for a file. Ooh, that is very odd wording. This fixed file line break step removes line break characters within a file and converts these characters into actual line breaks. This step uses file data as an input and will output a new updated file containing the fix, which will need to be downloaded. I'll go ahead and unmute you and let's talk about what your use case is, unless you're just trying to general learn. If you're just trying to general learn, feel free to put that in the chat or speak if you want to. But I did unmute you. If you want to tell me what the use case here is, we might be able to kind of build something out for you. I saw you unmuted, but I cannot hear you. I don't know if the mic is the right mic.
Can you hear me now?
Oh, yes, you sound great. Yep.
Yes.
Yep. Hey, let's talk about it.
Am I audible?
Yeah, so what are you planning on using it for? All right, kind of just do some building here while we're kind of trying to get some more information. Sandeep raised their hand. Okay. I muted you, Sandeep, as well while I'm kind of working.
Oh, can I talk about the same thing?
Yeah, no problem at all. Yeah,
So,
are you
we
guys are
both
you
work
on with the same
together.
organization? Okay. Yeah, well,
So,
how
can I
can I?
explain the scenario that
Yeah, no
now
problem at all. Yeah, but thank you.
what exactly the use case is all about?
Sure. Yeah, feel free to explain it.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, you sound great. Yeah, I can hear you. I can hear you.
that description was helpful. Because it's just done.
What's done?
And when you were looking at the tooltip, I was remarking how unhelpful that was.
Yeah.
We just said, yeah, up it's a done path. It's like, yep, that's true. It does.
Yeah. So I can't hear you. I can't hear you now. You're both muted. The use case is where we have a flat file with multiple additional line breaks in between data, which has to be imported into a Microsoft SQL server. However, we need to import them without those additional line breaks, where we have a flat file with multiple additional line breaks in between the data, which has to be imported. Okay. So I have you both unmuted. I know that you guys have your hands raised. It's just the mic on your end is muted. So I can ask you to unmute, but without that information.
Okay.
There you go. I hear you now. Hey.
Hope you are able to hear me now.
Yes. Hmm. I can hear you.
So basically, this is the thing. Like when we have an text file
Hmm.
uh, or an CSV file with a column delimiter. A column delimiter could be a comma or double quotes or pipe symbol, whatever it is. So, say for example, I'm using a comma separator for a column delimiter, uh, wherein I have 10 columns. I'm going to use 9 column delimiters in the data. So when uh, within the data, if I have a comma, so like say for example, instead of 9, I had 10 column delimiters within the data, and last 2 columns data will be moved to the last column. So from there, I need to identify. So from where it got separated, uh, the extra delimiter has came in, and where the last column is.
Okay. Yeah, I can take a quick
Uh,
build out.
I have to fix the data.
You have to fix the data. Okay. Yeah, I can do a couple, a little bit of a build out. I can say just based on my approximation of it, just because it does sound kind of unique to your use case. And we can't have you really share any documents or any of your data, share your screen, because we put this on YouTube and it's a confidentiality thing. And I don't mind being a
So
facilitator of
that
this.
is the use case, and
Hmm.
let me share a screenshot of the data,
It's not
how
gonna,
it looks like.
it's probably not gonna let you, but yeah,
I
just
can I can demonstrate some of this stuff, Robert, if you'd
yeah,
like to.
no problem. I was gonna,
Yeah,
yeah.
yeah. Yeah, yeah. So I'll talk about that step is, and I'll try to relate that to your use case, and maybe that helps. So I'm gonna go ahead. Let me move my
Stop my
stuff over
share.
here. Yep. Let me close out some applications because I got a lot of tabs running. I don't need this running. I don't need that running. Don't need that running. Don't need that. Don't need that. Don't need that. Okay, cool. And share my screen. All right. So local. I shall create just a new test project to see how that works. So we got a testing file manipulation. I'll just creating a little project. We go file, we can pick it. And this is more LNL fun. And let's see, it isn't empty. Come on. I don't know why it didn't. Go ahead. There we go. Now that validation went away. Okay, cool. So I'm gonna create this. We're creating that, creating auto records. Cool. We're in it. I'm gonna create a flow. Let's create a flow. We're gonna call this. Oh, I think I still got too many tabs running. Let me close, but I want to save this. I guess not. All right, we'll just close this. Anything else I can run? There we go. And this is, was it remove? Was it remove file? What did you call it?
The name of the step is fix file line breaks, if that's what you're talking about.
Exactly. Yeah. Testing.
Fix file line breaks.
Fix file line breaks. All right, cool. So let me see. So we're gonna fix file line breaks. So let's just test this step out, right? Fix file line break. So I believe what that one is if I grab this, I think they're the same step, fix file line breaks. So there's two types. There's one that's for file data, and then there's one that's for on the line feed type. So I don't know what that is. We can set this to a constant. Oh, okay, here we go. So we have the data as a
Python.
carriage return, line feed. So that one might be more of what you're looking for. I had a quick question on the job schedule status. Let's see. Cool, cool. I'll get you Smitha in just a little bit. I'm just going to answer this question real quick and then I'll get to you. So fixed file line breaks, I think this one's just for file. So for example, if I just create a quick notepad and I add like Jared, with my name spelled horribly, Jeremy and Robert, right? I have some line breaks in this file. So I'm going to save this and I'm going to say this is test file LBs for line breaks, right? So now that I have this, I believe what will happen is if I add this up here, I wonder if it will remove those line breaks inside of the systems or inside of that file. So let me go ahead, say this is my file. We're gonna go ahead and say this is file data. We'll go ahead and run this. Oops, that's the wrong one. I wanted this one. If file line breaks, and then if I add the file, we're gonna add the file data, then I can debug this, and then I need to find my file. I don't know where I put it. Let's see, documents, desktop. I think I will call it test file line breaks is what I'm calling it.
All right. But the scenario is entirely different for us.
Right, well, correct. What I'm doing right now is I'm just answering what does this like line break file thing do?
Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Right.
Got
So you
that.
can see, yeah, so you can see what it does, right? Because I don't know what it does,
Okay.
but I think if I do this, okay, this doesn't really help. So in order for me to actually see the data, to see if it actually removed, is I'm going to say there's another step we can use to say convert bytes to base, convert bytes to base 64 string. And so what this allows me, was that just image bytes? I don't want that. No, there is a certain step. Let me just look up bytes. I think it's like convert string, because it's not necessarily base. Get bytes, get string from bytes. That's the one I want. So what this does is since all files in decisions, the file data type has a list of contents for the data stored, we can grab this. And since we know what the file looks like beforehand, because I just made it open, test file LB, right? It looks like this. What I'm hoping is that it will look somewhat like this, right? And that's what I want the system to remove. So we shall see if that's what actually happens. So if I do this, I want to choose my file, go to my desktop. There we go. I want to save this as a unit test LB stuff. And then I can start debugging with it. And then we can go into the get string without bytes here. And so, okay, so it looks like it didn't really change anything. It still kind of has that extra space in there. So fix file line break. So I don't know if that really would help with that. Let me do this. I'll work offline. Let me build something. If you could put your emails in the chat, I'll build something for you guys and send it to you so you can see how this stuff works. Because I'm pretty sure I can figure it out. But go ahead.
Is there any possibility that I can share an image with you?
Yeah, I'll put my email in the chat.
Okay.
And then you can send me an email of the image of what it looks like. And then I can that will help me as I build this kind of example for you. So you can have it.
Okay.
Yep. All right. As you get that, let's see. Perfect. Alrighty, cool. Let me put this over here. Boom. And I got this one. All right, cool. Thank you guys. I'll go ahead and work on that. Let's see, we got another one. Hi, I had a quick question on job scheduler status. Even after the job completes, the status is
Hope you received my email.
Yep, we got them.
Yep, we got it. Let's see, quick question on the job. Next question is, I had a quick question on the job scheduler status. Even after the job completes, the status is in running. What does that mean? Question 2, how can I migrate database connections between environments? Great question. I'm gonna answer the second one because that's gonna be an easier one to answer. Migrating the connection will be, you can't really migrate it between environments. The best thing that you have to do is you have to make sure that each system, like if you're going from your dev to your repo to your prod, you want to make sure that you've established all those connections into that specific server and application. The reason why is because when you actually send it over, right, it'll have that kind of entity that says we have a new local connection, but you'll still need to add in like the credentials to it to make sure that in your integrations databases, if you have like an additional connection into MySQL or Oracle or some other database, you just have to make sure that connection is already pre-configured, same naming, same everything inside the other environments, and then you'll be good to go on that regard for that one. On the question one, the job scheduler status. Let me, I'll ask you to unmute there. Oop, wrong one.
Yeah, I hope I am unmuted.
Let's see, where is? I'm looking for Smitha. All right, there you go, Smitha. If you could give a little more detail.
Hi, can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm just looking for a little more detail on this, on the scheduler job status. Are you referring to, like on my screen here, if you go to jobs and events and schedule jobs in here? Or no? Oop, it looks like you lost the ability to talk. Let me allow you to talk again, Smitha.
Yes, hi, can you hear me?
Yes, now I can hear you.
Okay, perfect. Yeah, for the first one, thank you. So what you're suggesting is when I am, if I have 3 connections, right? Like for whatever, for dev, QA, and production. So you mean to say I need to go into each environment and put in those values, or the admin has to do it? Is that what you're suggesting?
Correct. You would have to, right? Because those are 2 different systems, dev and prod. And so you'd have to make sure that those devices from a networking or architecture perspective has the permissions to access that, external integration part.
Okay.
If it didn't have it that way, then that would be a nice kind of like security circumvent where you can just kind of push credentials across. And so that's why in decisions, let's say I have a dev server and I'm connecting to my Postgres database for data table integration. When I send that to the repo, it will maintain that I do have that kind of connection configured. But when I go to prod, I'll have to make sure that I put in those credentials either before I deploy it to prod, or after I deploy it to prod, I add in the credentials it needs to talk to that external table.
What I'm asking is, like, in some tools, like you have a config file or something like that, right? Somewhere we have to write it. So, but I have to do it right here in this local connection, or is there a config file which I can use?
Yeah, so you would do it, it would be done either in 2 places. If you're in version 8, you would go to system integrations and
9.
databases. Okay, if you're in 9, perfect. I can show you that.
Yeah.
Then what you would do here for your project is you would go to
Correct.
manage integration databases and add the new connection there.
Okay, basically all I needed to know is that we have to do it manually so that we can let our admins know and we can take it from there. Perfect.
Correct.
That answers my first question. Okay, for the second one, what we were trying to do is we scheduled a job and it picked up. But after it ran, for us, we think it got completed because whatever was expected was done as part of the flows. But it still shows instead of showing a success status, it shows the job status as running. So what would that mean, actually? Why would that be?
What would that mean? Let me go to my, I'm not sure, maybe the flow still hasn't concluded yet. That could be a possibility. I don't think, let me create a new scheduled job flow. And let's kind of run it real quick.
Time span, because we wanted to, do it every 5 minutes or something like that. That was a requirement. So we use that.
Every 5 minutes? Okay, cool. Perfect. I will create a job that does that. So let's see if I want to do, I'll make it shorter, like a couple of seconds, because I can easily turn it off. Let's see, notify me every 5 seconds. Obviously, it's not a good deployment strategy, because that'd be not good. Time span. I want this to, start date's going to be today, run immediately.
Yeah, and one thing probably we should not have done was that requeue thing, because I read later that if you do that, the rest of the jobs will not run.
Correct, yeah. Run only on job server. Let's see, and then run on calculated date. Okay, I believe this should work. Yes, that's right. Create a quick flow. Can I create a flow? Am I not able to create a flow? I want to create my own flow. Pick schedule job. That's weird. All right, I'm gonna go to my other screen. Let me create a really quick flow that just doesn't do too much. Should go to, sure, example testing, create a flow. This is notify me. And then we'll add a show pop-up. Boom, boom. And we'll add this here. And then specify, I'm just gonna add myself so that I don't worry about any user context switching. And we'll say this is constant, and we'll say this is Jared, and we'll say this is hello. Boom, boom. All right, cool. So now I got the notify me. So if I flip back over here and I say pick the scheduled job, I go to all, go to example testing, notify me, boom. And then let me say, oh, it's 30 seconds. Okay, cool. Got it. Why did you not remember it? Every 30 seconds. Because what I'm hoping I can do here is that with this, notify me, is that I can then say, we're going to do a time span schedule. Every 30 seconds, run immediately, default queue, rejob queue fails, create task if job fails, run on job startup. And then run between hours. I think, oh, then pick the, perfect. So if I save this, right, now we just got to stare longingly in each other's eyes for 30 seconds. And then we'll see if it comes up. As we're waiting on this, I'm gonna, on off screen here, oops, I'm gonna show this here. So we should be able to see that notification pop up in 30 seconds. My initial gut reaction, Smitha, is that I'm not sure if this dashboard refreshes when something changes. So my initial thought was if we manually refresh, if that will change the status of that specific process, right? And it'll actually show that it is, completed or success or failed or one of the two. That is my thought.
Okay.
So that could be something. Let's see. I'm going to disable this.
Okay.
Let's see. Okay, perfect. So now what you can do here is if it is still running, and I haven't seen this. There we go. So like I refresh this, so it is lazily loaded, meaning that if once it completes, you will have to manually trigger that refresh to see that, okay, it did actually run and ran success. Now, to answer the question further, over here, I do have something in my other environment. Is it not here? Oh, I just saw it. There was one that was set to running. Forgot where that one was, but what I want, oh, perfect, So this one's set to running, right? So what does that mean? What I'm thinking is that what you can do is, this is in version 8, but you can also do this in version 9, where we can go into administration, and let me make sure I copy this, the name of this process, and let me see what the name of the flow is. Let's see, edit the schedule job. It is running, refresh all container entities flow. Okay, so let's say, I'm just gonna add this here so I can go back to it. All right, and I'm gonna stop the other one on the other screen because now it's just blowing up my inbox. Edit the schedule job. I'm gonna say, I'm just gonna turn it off. Boom. And then don't run immediately. I'm gonna say delete schedule job. Okay, boom. All right. So now with this one, what I think you can do is in administration, if I go to, I think it's system tools and flow management. And I'm wondering if we can see in if it's running flows. Where's running flows? Running flows. And then let's say we filter by that name. There we go. So I can see that this thing is actually running. So it could mean that it's still processing information, or it could be unnecessarily hung. That's one of the things it could be. So what you can do here is I have this flow tracking ID. And so what you would do here is you would copy this flow tracking ID. And
Mhm.
then what you can do is you can go back into flow management, and all the way to the right of this menu, it's the same thing in version 9. I don't think the menu's changed. I'll double check that for sure. But what
Mhm.
you can do is I can filter by the primary flow tracking ID with the
Mhm.
one that I got on the previous dashboard. Filter
Okay.
this, and then I think I could find it and I could see if it's stuck anywhere. So, okay, it looks like there is nothing that is running in regard to, or any stored workflows in regard to here. So I can remove this link here. And so it looks like it's just, if I go back to the running dashboard. So there's no, so all I did is I confirmed there's no pause that happened inside of the process. So this
Okay.
one's just running. So what I can do is you can actually, let's see, let me show the tracking ID. Well, that's already there. Yeah. Is you can kill this flow if it's just kind of, hung in the ether. You always do want to check in the flow management if there's any stored workflows. The reason being is if I send an assignment and it paused the workflow and that's why it hasn't progressed, you'll want to end that assignment gracefully so there's not just kind of, assignment data just hung out inside of that process without no way to start. So if you confirm through here, there's no stored flows at this moment, then what you can do is you can go into your running flows and see if it's running. And if it's not running, as you can see here, it tells me there's no number of steps for this and there's no number of subflows. So I don't think this is a valid execution. So I can just go ahead and kill this flow. It'll ask me, are you sure? This is basically like a Windows Task Manager, but for decisions. So that's why you always want to be very careful when doing this. You don't do it just at any situation, but if you can confirm that there's no stored workflows, the number of steps, number of subflows, there's nothing running on it, then you should be good to go ahead and cancel it, and then that will remove it from its execution. And let's see if it actually changed the scheduled job area there. So that's what I think that would mean, and that's what I would do to check. And yeah, I don't think I see it here. So it looks like what it did say is it failed one time. So naturally, that makes sense because it was just ended.
If it says failed, right? In this case, when it failed, if we select that option, whatever, requeue or something, the other jobs wouldn't get picked, correct?
I believe
Until
that's
this is a
accurate.
pass. Okay.
Yeah, I believe that's accurate. I'd have to test that out, but I believe that's accurate. And you're talking about this part, I think, where it's where is it?
Down below, I think.
Yeah, requeue. It's
requeue down. I saw something. Requeue failed.
Requeue if action failed. Yeah. So, yeah, absolutely. So I'll probably leave that off.
Okay.
So yeah.
That helps.
Okay. Good.
Thank you.
Any other clarifications needed on that? I could do some more testing offline as well, just to, if there's something else that you're looking for.
Thank you.
Okay. All right, cool. Any other questions that we have? Okay, cool. Awesome. All right, so what I'll do here is actually want to play around with that text file manipulation and see if I can. Let's see, data and string, line feed, carriage return. Carriage return, line feed. Because and I think we have an answer to that one. The fixed line breaks uses a text reader file. Oh, there we go. Fixed line breaks. We're getting here. Uses a text reader file. Uses it. Sorry. Fixed line break step uses text reader on file contents. Then creates string builder. Then for each read line of text reader, it appends line to string builder and returns string builder to string. Really? Okay. I'd have to test that out to see. So. All right. Any other comments or questions before we wrap up? Cool. All right, well, I'll go ahead and end that lunch and learn there so I can start working on offline for the question that was asked about the line break. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on that, and I'll send you guys a project. I think sometime today I'll be able to send that out so you guys will see kind of what those steps do and how they work for a specific process. So thank you so much for attending. Tomorrow, I think I'll be hosting the Lunch and Learn, so you'll see me again for better or for worse, but I look forward to seeing you guys again and answering your questions. So thank you so much for attending, and I'll see you guys next time.